All right, open season. Billy Allen, Justin Elaine doing the thing in the Zoom-like format as you've gotten used to us a little bit here. We're going to be talking about all the big topics. We're going to be talking about the NBA targeting a May 8th reopening the practice facilities. We're talking about the Brawl brothers signing with Jay-Z's management firm. We're talking about the LA Lakers returning $4.6 million back from a coronavirus. Screw it. We're just talking about we're talking about Jordan and the Last Dance, episode 3 and 4.
I really wanted to talk Lakers. How they're giving that money back. I didn't even know that till you just told me.
Did you didn't hear that? They took out a $4.6 million like aid loan or whatever. They're giving it back now, but apparently whoever filled out the paperwork on that is going to hell. But
I'm guessing it was Rondo.
Rondo. So anyway, we have episode 3 and 4 finally, and we saw a lot about Rodman. We saw a lot about Phil Jackson and kind of his Zen mentality. I don't know. What was your favorite part of the documentary last night or Sunday night?
It's hard to tell. I mean, the Rodman story with Carmen Electra was pretty good. Like the fact that they actually let him go to Vegas for 48 hours. Like that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like, and the fact that Jordan
taking a vacation in the middle of the season and Jordan signed off on it.
How about him drinking the Miller Lite before he goes on his motorcycle?
Yeah, hopping on the motorcycle after with a little bit of a buzz.
Oh. Yeah, he's like, I'm just gonna ride my motorcycle. I thought the whole Rodman part was really interesting. Like, I knew he was crazy, and like I knew because I saw the other documentary on him, but that story about him going to Vegas and Carmen Electra in the room and Jordan banging on the door. Remember, Jordan said, like, I can't tell you what else was in that room. I can only imagine. There's probably like cocaine.
Like, can't tell you what else was in that bed or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That was crazy. I mean, the Jordan stuff, like, and the Piston stuff, like, I already knew about some of that because of the Bad Boys documentary. But it's crazy how much Jordan still hates Isaiah Thomas, like, with a passion.
Yeah. He like made sure that he didn't even make the dream team. Apparently he said like he wasn't going to play on the dream team if Isaiah Thomas was on it. I mean, I wonder if any more, but they hate each other. And apparently the Celtics started the tradition of walking off.
I didn't know that either. That's nuts.
I didn't know that at all. But what did you think about the Pistons not accepting the beating? Like, did you think that was like cool that they walked off, that they like cared enough? Like, because in one way, I think it does show like how much they can. Like today's players would never ever do that. Like just walk off the field. They would always like shake hands.
LeBron did it. You don't remember when he lost to the Celtics?
To the Magic or whatever?
No, when he lost to the Celtics in the Garden, the last game as a Cavalier, took his jersey off, walking out. He didn't say thank you to anyone. He walked out.
Yeah.
It still happens a lot. But, like, he didn't walk by, like, their entire team like the Pistons did. I wish Bill Laimbeer was in that documentary so bad. I, like, hate him, but, like, I would love him if he played for the Celtics. He's like Aaron Baines on roids.
Oh, I know. I don't even feel like he was good. I feel like he like never even had good stats, but he was just somebody that was going to beat the hell out of you. Same with Rick Mahorn. Like they were just these big oafs that were going to beat the hell out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
And Rodman, they were saying that James Worthy, when they interviewed him, he was like, I'm surprised Jordan even made it alive through them. And you saw that it was pretty cool. Jordan like decided to like bulk up and got the whole team like kind of lifting weights and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, the day after the season, like they're already working out.
Feel like today's athletes, like they're just like, I mean, you listen to Jason Tatum, he hasn't picked up a ball in 35 days. I mean, those guys, they couldn't wait to get back and defend their championship.
Yeah. And I also thought it was pretty interesting. Like it's kind of comparing him to LeBron in a sense where those years where he was the best player in the league but didn't win the big game, like he didn't make it, didn't win the championship. So Jordan and LeBron both had to go through that at one point.
Yeah.
And like everyone's keeps saying I would have loved to have seen LeBron against the Pistons. It's like, has anyone seen the size of LeBron James? Like, if Bill and Beard tried to do that, he would have like stomped on him.
He would have just dunked over him.
Like,
Yeah.
this isn't like, these like Isaiah Thomas or like a skinny Jordan going up. LeBron James is
Well, let's
biggest
not
guy.
act like Jordan was necessarily a small guy. He was 6'6". He was pretty big.
Exactly. I mean, the whole. I thought the Doug Collins part was really cool. Like how you would have
How
him
much he
15.
sweat. That was great. That reminded me of myself.
How about like Phil Jackson admitting he like did acid and stuff?
Yeah, I know. And yeah, admitting, yeah. And that was so weird how that was really weird when they showed Doug Collins for a second and they were like, did you know that that he was going to take over? That Phil was going to take over. And he was like, yeah.
That was very awkward. Like he didn't
And he
do a
was
bad
like,
job.
they're like, how? And he's like, just a hunch or like whatever. And it was just.
Yeah, it's like I don't understand why Doug Collins got fired in the first place. I still don't understand that. I mean, I know Phil did a great job.
That is so tough he lost an Eastern Conference Finals championship and they canned him.
Like Jordan loved him.
Yeah. I think Jordan almost respected the move. He's like, you got to have a lot of balls to do that type of move. Like,
I can't believe how much swearing there is, honestly, in this. I love it. He's like, they call him Isaiah Thomas an asshole. He's like, you can't tell me he's not an asshole.
Like, came from nowhere. Where was he even coaching? Like in Puerto Rico or something? They were saying.
This documentary is nuts. Like, how did they get footage of him coaching in Puerto Rico? Who was filming that?
And just with his like porn stash and the acid trips and Zen Master. And I thought it was crazy how he knew like how to balance like Jordan and Rodman. Like if I was coaching Rodman, I'd be all over his ass and I would be like, I can't let this guy out of my sight. He had the foresight to like let him know that if you let him go for 48 hours, he'd actually like come back. Like I would never trust.
He wouldn't have came back unless Jordan went and got him. It was past 48 hours when he went to go get him.
Yeah.
It was like 72 hours. And Jordan's like, F this, I'm going to get him.
I just feel like so many people would have pressed Rodman, whereas he stayed off him, but he pressed Jordan. Like he pressed the best player in the game and like knew what Jordan needed was that like consistency. But he also knew what guys like Rodman did. And like you have Rodman like saying like you hear him say that in Native American language, they would call him a backwards man. He's like we bonded through Native American heritage. It's like that's how he understands him.
Phil Jackson, I've always kind of thought he's an overrated coach, to be honest with you. And it's like, all right, he said Michael Jordan and Kobe, like two of the greatest players of all time. How much did he actually do? But he did change the way that they operated the offense. And I respect the fact that he told Jordan, like, you're not going to have the ball as much. And Jordan was pissed about it. And then finally realized that, I can't have the ball in my hands all the time. And that's kind of where Scottie Pippen started.
Yeah. I know.
And the fact Scottie Pippen guarded Magic Johnson in the finals from like the beginning, like when he got the ball inbounds all the way down the court.
That was amazing. The defense that he played on him, you could see that Magic was just so shook.
I mean, think about it. That Lakers team was like garbage too. That wasn't like, who was the center? Vlade Divac? Like that team barely made it to the finals. And like the Bulls kicked the crap out of them. But the fact that like you're Magic Johnson, this guy is up in your grill all game long. It's like, can you get this guy away from me? He's like a freaking rat.
Oh, I know. Scottie Pippen just up in you. He's long too. And that's crazy how they show like how Pippen really like took over too as like a number two. I mean, he was one of the top like 5 players in the Eastern Conference. He was maybe even the second best at one point. I mean, and you realize that Jordan, I don't know. It's like they talk about how Jordan, like when they show the Paxton game and he's like, oh my God, like I realized like I could pass to like this player. Like there's almost like he didn't even realize like he could pass to like certain guys. But mean, he had, I would definitely take my chances with Scottie Pippen and Tony Kukoc. Tony Kukoc averaged 18, 7, and 5 one year. He was a 6'11", like he was like the ideal stretch forward if he was playing today.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was funny too when they had Rodman come back and they were doing that running drill. And Jordan's like, when everyone gets to the front, just start jogging. And then Rodman starts sprinting past all of them. And they had to do 4 laps to catch up to him. Like,
Yeah.
think of like he would party all night and come in and be normal the next day of practice. And like,
I know. He'd be like mouthing like he was like mouthing like Chaser or whatever.
Like, they all, Jordan, Pippen, Jackson, they all just said like, we'll let him do his partying, but he comes back the next day and he's a top 30 player in the NBA. We need him. Like, we're okay with you going to Vegas. We're okay with you doing shots till 4 a.m. as long as you come back the next day and practice hard.
Yeah, I know. And he was able to do that, which is like incredible. I mean, you would assume that that would totally kill him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know how many guys could do that. Like Michael Irvin was able to do that, go out and party all night.
Yeah.
But he was legendary. I thought that was hilarious when they were talking to Carmen Electra, and she was like, I didn't realize that like he was in the middle of a season. Like, she couldn't even tell that he was in the middle of the season. That's how hard he was partying.
I mean, is it just me or like Carmen Electra looks like she did last time we saw her like 20 years ago? She doesn't look like
she looked pretty. That was a pretty good endorsement for Carmen Electra.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like, who's thought of Carmen Electra in the past since like we were in high school?
That was funny. She was like, I didn't want Jordan to think of me like that, so I hid. Like, sure, that really helped the reputation. He was
them doing the kamikaze shots too. He's like, kamikaze, like just And then the next day drinking water at practice, kamikaze.
Kamikaze, yeah. Oh my God.
Think of social media back then, like if there was social media.
Oh, that's another thing too. He'd never be able to get away with it. The outrage society today.
Yeah. Like he came up to him and said, I need a vacation. Jordan's like, you need a vacation? I need a fucking vacation. Like, are you kidding me?
I love how Jordan swears so much.
It's awesome. Like you're finally seeing like true Jordan, like finally, right? Like
he's like actually doesn't give a crap, I feel like.
Yeah.
He's not trying to prove anything to anyone.
And like the Isaiah Thomas thing is perfect. He's like, this guy's an asshole. I don't care. Nothing he's gonna say proves it. And like Isaiah gave the nice corporate like political answer, like now that I've seen it, I guess I shouldn't have done that. Jordan's like, you're still an asshole.
And I love how he's like he's like, that's BS, like what he's saying. He was like shaking his head like the whole way. He's like, give me let me see it. But
imagine like you're Dennis Rodman, you just had a night out in Vegas partying with Carmen Electra, you're hungover as hell, and you're banging on the door. And it's like, yo, it's MJ. You're like, oh shit, it's Michael Jordan at the door. And Carmen Electra runs into the closet to hide. And like the thought of like Michael Jordan walking in that room, just screaming at Dennis Rodman when he probably didn't even go to bed yet.
Oh, I know.
Flying him back
and like they said, like Jordan, like you would just see like his face, like his red like face. Like when he won the championship, they're like, we had never seen those types of emotions out of Michael. Like we had either seen him pissed off at us or frustrated or like tired. We hadn't actually seen him show other emotions. Like he was just a robot.
The other part of like him, the swearing going on in the documentary I liked was when Doug Collins, like, what was the play call? Give the ball to Michael and everyone else get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah. And Michael's just like cracking up laughing.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's the play.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I wish that we were able to watch basketball back then. Like those Eastern Conference series were just all out like brawls.
Oh, I know. They were so physical.
Like I would love
that would happen today.
I'm a hockey guy and it's like hard sometimes to watch. Like some guy gets like breathed on and it's like foul. And like you got Scottie Pippen being dragged off the floor by a referee to get out of the way after he just got hit in the head by Lambier, like an elbow to the head, no foul.
Well, let's welcome to the show. We got my good buddy Aaron Davis.
Billy Allen, how's it going, buddy?
Going good, my man. Doing the show with my buddy Justin. I don't know if you guys have met yet, but
What's up, Aaron?
here's your little introduction.
Mm,
So we're talking The Last Dance. We were just talking about a bunch of things. Jordan kind of showing his first emotion after he won the championship. He was kind of like a robot before that. They'd never seen
Yep.
any type of emotion out of him. But
Yep.
that was the last thing we were discussing. What was your favorite part of 3 and 4?
Favorite part of 3 and 4, honestly, the detail of how he went in about the Pistons situation. And surprisingly, the Dennis Rodman piece was definitely well put together, well played. Definitely gave him the respect he well deserves. I feel like he's out of the three, doesn't get the nod per se. I mean, we all know he's a Hall of Famer, but Robin didn't get the nod. Like, okay, yo, he's definitely the glue. Like, when Scotty was out, I love seeing like the breakdown of how Robin stepped up and like that. That was key. That was real key to to the bond relationship and to the journey. But yeah, I'm a Jordan fan through and through. Everybody knows that. So I was living on life's heaven.
Are you a Jordan or LeBron?
Watching every minute of it.
Are you Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan's emotion after the first championship was pivotal. And I'll tell you why it was pivotal. It set the tone for how they walked into that season, right? It just was like, let's get right to it, let's get strong, and then here's the reward. So now, like we get to see like that was the work that was put in for this time period and how he just built upon that every single time, every year after that, after every championship. So it was cool to me. And then I saw so many similarities between him and Kobe, and it was just like, all right, that dude Michael Jordan was the blueprint for a lot of superstars today. What'd you guys think? What was your favorite part, Billy, Justin?
I would probably say my favorite part was just him Jordan probably waking him up in Vegas. Like, because you heard all the stories, but you just didn't know that it got to that extreme. Like, give me 48 days in the middle of the season. I need a vacation. No, wait, I need a MF vacation. Like, so both of them going back and forth and like seeing how far it actually went and that like Michael actually had to go pick him up. I thought that was pretty extreme.
That was extreme.
So I think I love that part. And Carmen Electra, she hasn't aged too poorly. But I also thought it was pretty crazy to see how far that like Phil had kind of come from nowhere, right? Like he was a coach. Where was he coaching? He was coaching in like
Puerto Rico.
Or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And they pulled him from there, and then they had the balls to pull him over. I thought Phil Jackson had a little bit of like cachet before he had gone to the Bulls. He was just like a regular, he was going to take over 100%.
Right, you didn't know he was taking over 100%. What I didn't realize though was that when he was like he won a championship before the Bulls as a coach. That is what I was just like, huh. He's always been a little quirky off the books and off the radar a little bit in personality and like how he brought teams together. But he's been accustomed to winning chips. He won with New York. He won with the Knicks. He won when he started coaching. So, and then I think the reason why he came and took the Bulls and it took a little while was because of the upper management issues. Like that kind of slowed it up. But also it allowed him to really sit down and just sit next to our boy Tex and really get to understand and fall in love with the triangle. So I think everything worked out perfectly. Like, okay, he came in, he had to learn the system a little bit, learn the players, but then he learned the system that he ended up putting into play, and then he did his whole Zen thing, and then it kind of worked out perfectly. And no one can duplicate that. No one has
coached 10 years there and won 6 chips. So
that's
argue against that.
What's crazy to me was the fact that
and then to go to the Lakers and do it again is even stronger. You know what I'm saying? It proves your value and your valor.
Did you see the stat that they pulled up at the end that said that he was the only coach to coach 20 years or whatever without a losing season? The other coach that's closest to that is 10 years.
That's
nobody's coached more than 10 years like without a losing season, and he coached 20.
That's crazy.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's great. But you also have arguably
And it was like Casey Jones for the Celtics or whatever, who won like 10, back in like the 60s when there were like 4 teams.
And I wasn't even born yet. So, that's how anomaly that is. But what was your take, Justin?
Yeah, no, I was going to say that the fact that the triangle started with him sitting on the bench talking to this other coach.
Still can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me, Bill?
I can hear you.
Oh.
Can you hear him, Aaron?
I cannot.
Oh.
Huh.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, and Bill, you can relay this, but the fact that like the triangle started with him sitting on the bench learning it, and then Doug Collins knowing that he's like the next, like the prophet, he's like the next one to go, and him knowing that his job's gonna be taken over by Phil Jackson being coached by this other assistant coach, the triangle, and then him just running with it. And him running with the Bulls, him running with the Lakers. It didn't work with the Knicks, but like it worked everywhere else.
So you can't hear any of that, right? Okay.
All
right. So I guess I'll keep talking to. He was just kind of talking about the triangle and like how it was created and like how dominant it was, and everywhere except for New York.
The triangle was pivotal. I think it was I find it interesting how many anomalies were in the Bulls' run. Like you get Michael Jordan, you get Scottie, you get Rodman, you get Phil, you get Kukoc. Like these are all like players that were just one-offs. Like we never seen a Jordan before, obviously. Never really seen a Pippen before next to it. Like everything was just like a first coming. Everything was a blueprint first. It was the first one. Like, they were the first, boy band of the NBA or whatever you want to call it, like to win multiple chips like that. So that was interesting. But the triangle, man, still only perfected by Phil. That's it. We haven't seen anybody else to really like get in the nooks and crannies and be able to implement it the way.
Here's a question for you. Who do you think they're going to go in next on? Like, it's kind of been like they've gone in on like Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, and kind of to some degree Phil. I don't know if they may take like another full episode to do him. Who else do you think they've got to do? I mean, Kukoc,
I think
Ron Harper.
I think Kukoc would get some. I think the starting five will all get some type of love, some type of say, right? Ron Harper's defense is unparalleled. Kukoc being the Suicide Swiss Army knife he was from Europe. You know what I'm saying? That was pivotal, right? International baller. They picked him up. That was before its time. Like that move was done before its time. I think they're gonna focus on that. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head. I really can't. And not anybody that's like stands out specifically. I don't.
I think they'll go more into Jordan next episode.
Yeah, Justin says he thinks they'll go more to Jordan next episode.
Like the Nike contract. I think
they're gonna go a deep dive with Jordan.
He thinks the Nike contract is gonna make them go into the Jordan stuff a little bit.
That was a thing of beauty. I mean, you look at that. The Jordan era like inspired everyone. Every superstar thereafter had to walk that path that was laid down by Mike.
Everybody wanted to be like him.
Everybody did. So are you buying like the whole LeBron better than Jordan type of situation, or what's your take? What's your guys' take on
honestly,
that?
I'm not. I've been saying that Jordan is better since I've been seeing.
What? You said that?
Yeah.
Wow. About time.
I wish I could hear it.
I mean, I can't argue with certain stuff. It was just like he had an undeniable quality to like not lose. Like there was just something in him that like would not let them lose. And like, I don't know. I mean, LeBron is like a very close second for me, but I have to take Jordan 1.
I'll take Jordan 1, Kobe 2, and LeBron 3, and I'll tell you why. That aura that Jordan had, Kobe had it. The skill set, the scoring ability, Kobe had it. But also, Kobe did play with Shaq. But LeBron played with Kyrie. And I find it weird that we have to compare a player, this generation player, to somebody who hasn't played basketball in like, I don't know, 20 years or so. Like I feel as though we should be comparing LeBron to Kobe, not LeBron to Michael.
Yeah, well, I think I think it's pretty well established. I think a lot of people think that LeBron has passed him, so I think that's why it gets to that point.
And to that, I say, that's all stats, right? Like that's all like numbers.
I mean,
That's
think
all
about
stats.
this though. Like LeBron has 3 championships. Kobe's got 5, right? But
How many times has he been there, Billy?
he got 2 of them without Shaq, though. You know, I mean,
Hey,
that's not a point,
he got
man.
the chips. You know what I'm saying? He got the chips, and he did it. He did it as the leader of the squad. And LeBron got chips with. Again, I think LeBron's an amazing player, the best all-around athlete we've ever seen in the league, hands down. Hands down. I've been a basketball fan since I was 7 years old. I'm 39 years old. Get it, got it. But when it comes to getting the bucket, getting the chip, and how you go about doing it, knowing the spotlight's on you, I think LeBron did a good job against the Warriors. But also, I forget who said it. Somebody was like, when Michael Jordan was in the league, you knew for a fact that nobody else was going to eat. He made sure that I'm getting the chips. Period.
I love Kobe just as much as the next guy, but Kobe never went on any of those big runs without having a decent a stacked team. You know, like there were those times he went for that 10-year period kind of between championships. He almost did
those last 2 years, man. His third best player was Lamar Odom.
Yeah,
Lamar Odom is not that good of a player.
I mean, but he had who did he have? Bynum, Gasol, and Odom.
We're talking about big 3 here, right?
I don't know. I'm just saying there was a while where he went through there without all right, let's bring another one on. We got my buddy Alex Tordai.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
What's going on, Alex?
Not much. Thanks for having me, guys. Excited to be here.
Hell yeah. We're talking everything Last Dance. So I forget, what were we just talking about, guys? They're trying to make me admit that Michael's better than LeBron, and I did. You know,
wow! I can't believe that's what I said. That's crazy,
dude. I had been watching all this stuff by myself, and I'm like, I can't go out in public and admit that LeBron's better than this. Just watching all the stuff on him, I don't know. I knew all about it, but 6 straight. What can you say to 6 straight?
Billy, even LeBron is saying
repeats, that 2
he's better than LeBron,
and it hasn't
LeBron
been.
Is saying Jordan's the best.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I finally came off.
I'm shocked. You've been the biggest LeBron fan for what, since I've known you.
Close second.
Crazy.
Close. I'll just say close second. I mean, he's over Kobe for me.
There's Jordan, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I do think that there's some players between Jordan and LeBron. I think LeBron's a little bit overhyped. I hate to be that guy, but I probably have LeBron just outside of my top 5 ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's in your top 5? I want to know.
Yeah, who's your top 5?
Well, let's talk about this, right? Kareem gets no love. I don't know why. Kareem dominated. He played for an era. Unbelievable. I put Kareem at number 2 all time. I think that you got to also probably. I mean, the tough part of this is you got to look at guys who had injuries and things like that. And today's NBA is set up for players to have a longer career than ever. Better training staff, better conditionings, better technology. You've got guys taking rest and doing load management. I mean, I think that you got to put Magic Johnson in there as well within the top 5. I think that you definitely have to have Kobe in there. He won 5 championships. He took down the Boston Celtics, which in 2010, which is arguably one of the best teams that we've seen play of the past 10 years or so, and won he just did not get enough love. If that Chris Paul trade goes through, if a few other breaks go his way, man, and David Stern allows that to happen, you're looking at probably 2 or 3 more championships from Kobe. I think he probably would have passed him. But the NBA didn't allow that to happen. That's like if they stop the Rodman trade, what happens to Jordan? If they stop LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh from pairing up on the Heat, how many championships would LeBron have at this point in his career?
Do you think he would have had any? Do you think he would have any rings if he didn't go to Miami?
So here's the thing: if he doesn't leave to go to Miami, who's coming to Cleveland to help him? No one. No one's coming, and they aren't getting the
And
first.
he tried to get those guys there. He tried to get D Wade and Bosh there, but they wouldn't come.
Why would they when there's Miami? Cleveland's a dump. Why would
tax free, baby?
Waste their time in Cleveland? Oh, have you seen the chicks in Miami? Have you seen the chicks in Cleveland? Come on.
But if it's for a chip, I mean, but also it kind of goes back to the different eras, because if you would have asked some player, I mean, think about Ron Hopper, Dennis Rodman, they all played against Michael aggressively, not just like pity pat. I played Mike, but they played against Mike aggressively. And once Mike said, "Yo, come through," they came through. They came and joined the team.
Yeah, it was crazy to see how they were assembled. Like, it was a bunch of like guys that he couldn't beat, like Rodman. Like, he kind of found those guys. That, how funny was that when they go to pitch Rodman and they're like, "You want to come play like with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen?" He's like, "Yeah, whatever." Like, he like didn't even care.
He's definitely that Phil Jackson quote when he said, "You're a man who walks
backwards, man."
Like you're a backwards man. I was like, totally. He's the sales guy, Billy, that he doesn't listen to anybody, not going to put anything in Salesforce, doesn't care, whatever, but he still closes 200% every month. And be like, how do you do that? How do you?
And guys, the last one in my top 5, I apologize, was Larry Bird. I put Larry just above LeBron still.
I don't know, man. I think LeBron's definitely in top 5.
Wow. Well, I appreciate it.
Look back at Larry's stats. The guy busted his back. Len Bias dies of a cocaine overdose. Like, so much went wrong with injuries and things for that Celtics team. Larry's run should have gone a lot longer than it did. His stats were outrageous. You watch any throwback game of Larry Bird, the passes he's making, the shots he's making, the defense he's playing, he was ridiculous. I watched a throwback game last week, and this guy was unbelievable.
Does anyone watch Larry Bird highlights and just?
I think Larry's gonna get the nod for a lot of top 5s. I think he's a legend first and foremost. I'll never discredit him. I just think he just got old playing in that old era of basketball. Your body takes a beating, But the '90s basketball, by far, in my opinion, is like the golden era of basketball.
The '90s,
especially for yes.
I think you got to give it to the 80s, early '90s, '80s for sure. And who were the two?
I mean, I didn't the Bird and Magic, but that's like, okay, let's replay college on a professional level. That's it. They were the best 2 players in the world, so of course they're gonna meet up in the NBA. But I think in the '90s, I grew up watching it, so. In my opinion, I think like Karl Malone, look at his stats. You know what I'm saying? Look at like those stats were crazy. Like, I'm not even a fan of Karl Malone like that. But I'm like, yo, he's putting up buckets. He's putting up numbers in a league that's dominated by
even MJ. Stockton's numbers are ridiculous. He's the all-time leader in steals too. Like his numbers are ridiculous.
They were like back-to-back 61 teams.
You look at like those New York teams, like, with Patrick Ewing. These are like solidified first ballot Hall of Famers. You know what I'm saying? Like that Jordan had to go through. They were just battling. I was like, geez, Louise. Now you can kind of like front load your team with like 3 or 4 All-Stars, and you're pretty much guaranteed a top 5 spot in whatever division, and you're gonna go. You know what I'm saying? And if you got 1, 2 starters, i.e. Portland, we'll just trying to see if you can break through in the playoffs. But, other than that, you kind of know who's going to be there at the end of the day. I think this era of basketball is so up in the air now. Like, I don't know whom to pick. Like, LeBron, did he have it in the bag? He did. But LeBron, he still has to get the chip. He got to like go through the work. And he hasn't done that yet. So we'll see.
3 for 9 in the final.
That's a bad number.
That's what I'm saying, Billy. I don't know how you can stop.
I just don't get how like that's an argument against him, because it's like, do you want him to not get to the finals? Look at all the players. You go count Karl Malone, how many times he didn't make it to the finals, right?
Billy, so look at the Eastern Conference.
LeBron, it's a knock. It is. I definitely agree. But he also,
it's a knock for taking some teams that were like really terrible. He took two of the worst teams statistically, like all time. That 07 team that he took or whatever against the Spurs, that team had like Big Z on it, and like who the hell else was on that team?
He also lost to Dirk Nowitzki by himself.
I can't give the guy excuses. Like you go there to get the chip. You ain't going there to make it there. Okay, I made it. That's cool. And also LeBron was young. He was still a pup, and the NBA league and how to win and how to be a champ and how to be a leader. So he's still growing into that. I'm not going to knock him. I don't personally knock him, but when you start comparing him to the GOAT, all right, we 6-0 over here. Damn your excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, we 6-0, and that's the mentality that Kobe had. And I think LeBron now has that, like, all right, damn your excuses. We came here to win. And I love watching him this year with LA. Love it.
He looks great.
He looks
6-0, but it took him years of losing in the conference final. That's my only point. If you were to count those years,
how many times LeBron lose? And LeBron had to go to Miami.
Okay, cool. You lost at the top of your division, the championship. All right, I get that. But if you get to the big dance, your job is to win. And that's a different animal, a different beast. And for that leader, type of scorer, type of player, type of athlete he is, with his influence and impact on the culture, you're supposed to get buckets. You're supposed to get there, and we want to see you fly. We want to see you shoot. We want to see you do everything better than everybody else and get the chip, because that's what the great ones do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the great ones have done.
Yeah.
Like, when Paul got there in 2008, you would think he was like, fuck this. We got this. Like, I don't care who it is. We got this. And we saw that. You could feel it. I didn't feel that with LeBron. And that's his biggest knock. It's like, he didn't have that dog. He didn't have that killer instinct, like, embedded in his brain and DNA until he met.
Really, I've been telling you that for
Miami,
years.
And Dwayne Wade was like, yo, let me show you how to do this, son. You know what I'm saying? And he did. And then
but he's saying that he learned it, Justin.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying for years. I'm like, MJ and Kobe had that killer instinct, and LeBron really never. He's really good at basketball, but he never had that killer instinct.
I just don't get how you can say like a guy that's averaging like a triple-double who's like winning finals against like this guy doesn't have a killer instinct. Like maybe he doesn't have to like scream at guys to show it. But
I think LeBron cares more about his Taco Tuesday Instagram.
It's little moments, though, Billy. It's little moments. It's not like, okay, yo, LeBron's a freak of nature. He's 6'9", 6'8", 6'9", 260, that can run flying better than anybody else, right? Get it, got it. You built that big. Okay, we want to see you dominate. That's nothing compared to like what's your emotion. It's like, yo, excuse me, get out the way. Triple double, but you didn't finish the job. You got me all the way here, but you didn't finish the job. And Dwayne Wade was like, I'll show you how to finish the job. Now I believe in LeBron that he could do that. I'm rooting for him this year to do it. No BS. I'm rooting for LeBron to chip. Go ahead, show him how it's done. This time, but he didn't have it. Like, Mike had to earn it though. He had to get those L's in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mike
but when he got to the
champ, the crazy thing about Mike, he could have won 9 championships if he kept going. 9.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He could have taken 2 years off for whatever reason. In the middle of those 3 peats, like those are probably 2 championships. That Rockets team wasn't beating them. Well, I guess you never know. But
Hakeem and Clyde Drexler, right?
Yeah,
that team was nasty.
Yeah, but then what did they do the year after? Like, I wish we got that matchup in the finals, man. That would have been the all-time match.
He definitely could have won after the last one too. There was no one stopping them Bulls. If Jerry Krause didn't ruin that, there was no one stopping them.
Yeah. The Spurs, they would have rolled years, and the Lakers never get Phil Jackson if he stays, and the Lakers won in 2000.
Yep.
Maybe there's no Lakers dynasty at that point. We don't know what happens. But.
Yeah.
It's a good point. But everything happens for a reason, and we can't go back and replay and fix it and replay history, like fix it. But it is what it is. LeBron's going to go down as a GOAT. I mean, he went to 3 teams. He's probably going to get, 3, another ring. He's going to have a ring on 3 different teams, I believe.
All
I
right, so
think so.
we've established probably the top 6 players in the hierarchy. I think the names I listed are pretty fair. Obviously, everyone can throw different guys in there. I mean, you can make an argument for Shaq as well, But
Right.
anyway,
Right.
I think that who in today's NBA would you say has the chance to crack that? Because I've got 3 names in mind that I think have a legit chance to be listed among that top 10, top 6 ranking.
Top 10, after it's all said and done, after this
Yeah.
generation is done, 20 years later, we're looking up, okay, who's the top 10?
Yeah.
I would say first, Giannis. Giannis.
Yep.
That's the one that kind of
Giannis,
sticks out of my head.
Luka.
Yep.
If Durant didn't get hurt, he would have been in that category.
He's really good, but he needs more time to really show himself. Show me some more.
If Durant can win in Brooklyn, he might.
Yeah.
But I think
if he can extend his career too. Everyone thinks he's going to have a short career. If he can play to say he could do what LeBron's doing, play till 35, still at top ball, that's a different discussion too.
He's the best big scorer we've ever seen. 6'10".
Do we put Kawhi?
Who's the other guy?
Kawhi. Yeah, I mean, dude, if he wins a 3rd championship on the Clippers, I mean, come on.
If he just goes team to team and is winning championships, that would be ridiculous.
I feel like Kawhi is just going to retire early someday. He's just going to be like, you know what, I'm done with this. Surprise everyone, just never hear from him again.
Yep, but he'll be known as a great winner.
Yep.
This is why I appreciate Russell Westbrook. He devalued stats, and like no one has ever devalued stats in the NBA. He's been stat pumping, and what does he do in the play? He doesn't win. He doesn't win in the playoffs, and because of that, you look at a guy like Kawhi, and it's like, all right, so who's a better basketball player, Kawhi or Russell Westbrook? You look at their stats, and you're like, oh, this guy's probably the better player. No, it's Kawhi all day. I think that we, as fans, as basketball historians, need to actually look at the game itself, how it's being played. Stats are a lazy way to judge a player. And I think that we need to actually look at how the game is played and the player's actual impact on the game.
So you think Kawhi's stats are put him in the league of being considered the top 10, 5 players in this generation?
Oh, I think that he's pretty much there. If we're just going by stats, I'd say he's pretty close. I mean, if you look at the accolades he's won, absolutely. His accolades match up with, I think, pretty much anyone outside of maybe LeBron and maybe Durant, I suppose, for accolades, because he's got the defensive player of the year.
So he has 3 rings. Doesn't Kevin Durant have 3 rings, or does he has 2?
Kevin Durant has 2 rings, right?
2 rings.
Yeah, 2.
Got 2 rings.
They should have won a 3rd if no one got hurt, but that's how it goes.
Oh, I know.
They should have beat that Heat team.
Do you put Kevin Durant above Kawhi Leonard?
No, I put Kawhi above KD.
I'm putting Durant above Kawhi.
Yeah, I think I'm probably putting Durant. I'm probably taking Durant.
If Kawhi wins in LA,
if he wins another one, you won't be able to say that. No.
Yeah.
No.
Right, you can't at that point. But I think right now, Durant's ability to score the ball in multiple different ways at that height, with that length, and the ability of how he does it puts him above Kawhi.
God, I hope he comes back healthy. That'll be such a shame if he can't come back healthy.
He's already playing full court 5-on-5. He looks great from the video.
That series against Cleveland.
So you got
he's averaging 50 a game.
Brooklyn coming out of the East next year?
Who do I have coming out of the East next year?
Yeah, would you say Brooklyn's coming out the East with Kyrie full healthy, KD fully healthy?
I think that if on paper, Brooklyn is absolutely the favorite on paper, but I actually would love to see I'm expecting to see either the Bucks or the Celtics come out of the East, depending on what I think Danny Ainge is going to make a move for a big that's going to solidify our starting lineup. I don't see Gordon Hayward sticking around for a max deal. If he takes a pay cut to stick around, maybe makes like $10 million a year. That's a
He's
great.
been paid enough. He's been paid. Oh, he's been overpaid for his production.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
he's been overpaid for his production. He'll be fine.
and
I think he
that's-
stays though. I think he stays. I think Haywood stays. Take a pay cut because you need a pay cut. Shut up.
He doesn't need to take a pay
$20,
cut.
$20
He
million.
opts into his contract.
I
Still
can't hear
getting
Justin. I
one
keep
more
talking
year.
over.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
opting
Tatum's
into that
probably
thing.
top 20 player ever. Top
Say that
20.
again.
I think Tatum has a shot to be a top 20, 25 player ever when it's all said and done.
He's top 10. He's
Oh.
top 10. He's
Top
Ever?
10 all time.
Tatum?
When it's all said and done, he's going to be top 10. When it's all said and done.
Wow.
Wow, that's
The pack,
dude, that's high praise.
That's
Think
the bold
about it,
thing
like-
tonight.
I think when it's all said and done,
You are blowing minds here.
I will. Now I can prove it though too. Look how he handles the ball, his size, his length, his skill set at a young age. The team he's with the ownership, how they're gonna build around him. Come on, he's gonna be top 10. He's gonna be top 10, and he has that go get him. He ain't afraid. He has that dog in him. He's not afraid of the moment.
He
does
hasn't
been
what he
touched
jailing
the
for the next
basketball in
decade.
35 days, though.
I mean, okay.
Yeah,
I know when the ball is put up in the air, I'm expecting. I know what I expect, and he delivers. And the squad around him is just so. It's a cheat code to have, a Kemba Walker, JB, Jaylen Brown, and Smart. It's a cheat code. It's like, yo, it's designed for you to get your buckets. So please get it.
I want to go on record first off. In regards to Jaylen Brown, I was the one Boston fan cheering when he was drafted. I was at a bar.
That was me. I was too. Billy was
Wow.
there. Billy was there.
Ecstatic, dude. Because I watched tape, studied it. I was like, this guy's going to grow into like a Kawhi Leonard light. And he's kind of on track to do it. Whereas Tatum
every year.
Tatum, I think, like that next in line of Jordan or Kobe, and then I think Tatum is like that next killer, like after Kobe, because there hasn't been like a killer like in that small forward guard like esque. I know Tatum plays power forward, but like, bro, I think Tatum, like there was a break in between. There was supposed to be someone in between Kobe and Tatum, but I think Tatum is that next up where like Tatum emulized Kobe, like tried to follow everything he did, all copied his moves, like.
Right.
like when you describe his game, it kind of reminds you of Kobe's. Like you're kind of like talking about Kobe's game. You're like his mid-range followaways, like his ability to get to the basket.
Right. A matchup between Paul Pierce and Kobe Bryant. Like that's what I see with Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
That's what I see with Jason Tatum. Like, it's a matchup between Kobe Bryant and Paul Pierce. Because the ability to his where he releases his shot is so it varies. And the only person I saw that could do that in a green uniform was Paul Pierce. His point of release can be mid, it can be high, it can be low. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
One thing about Tatum is crazy how athletic he is.
I agree. But I think there are a lot of players that like fell in love with Kobe and are adopting his methods and style, from Trae Young to even Kawhi said he's like, yo, I studied with Kobe, and that's why he has that stoic face, like, yo, every minute's the fourth quarter. But I don't know. But we'll see.
Dame Lillard kind of reminds me of Kobe.
I think I love John Morant. John Morant is a problemo. I'm like, wait a minute. He can pass like Jason Kidd and could really do some damage. High IQ for a young age, and he's getting buckets, man. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of nobody. I love that.
Anyone watching what Zion Williamson's doing right now? Because he's played like 20 games. And he's put up 20 and like 15.
He plays like 20 minutes and he scores like more points than the minutes he plays. It's ridiculous.
Like Charles Barkley on steroids.
He's so productive per minute. Yeah, and his game is like totally working, where like they just thought like, okay, you can be like bigger than everyone else and you'll dominate because of that. Like that's exactly how he's dominating. Like they're just giving him the ball close to the bucket and nobody can stop him.
That first game where he was hitting all those threes.
We're talking about Zion.
They're like, shoot it. He's draining them.
5 threes, right?
Well, he hasn't shot too many since, though.
And then they sat him down, and they lost the game.
It's like
God, that Pelicans team is so much more exciting than any of us would have
That
thought.
team is, if him and
Oh my
Ingram
God,
stay
On
together,
ball,
right.
it's so much better than I would have thought. Like he was starting to finally grow into himself before the season shut down. I think.
the trade was so fair for
Right.
both teams. You think about it.
I think he's top 5 if he stays healthy.
Who?
We didn't even talk about
Are we talking about
Anthony
Zion? 'Cause
Davis.
I can't hear.
He
But
could be top 10 all
Justin, are you
time
talking
if
about
he
Zion?
stays there doing it.
Oh,
It depends on. I think championships got to be heavily favored into the greatest basketball player of all time
He
discussion.
can win a couple with LeBron. You
I
know,
agree. I don't think that.
you can win three.
he's 27.
Magic number. You gotta get more than 6.
Any of the guys? No, but any of the guys that like you want to argue else, like you're talking about 3, like Larry Bird won 3. Is he like? Does he suck because he won 3?
He changed the game. Him and Magic
No.
Johnson.
Not to mention his back injuries. He literally. How long has LeBron been playing basketball? Yeah, 15 now, 16 years.
Yeah, this was year 17. Year 17.
Larry played 12 years in the NBA, and 5 of those years he was in shambles. And the year he hurt his back was probably his last year where he was balling, like really like top of his game, averaged 29.9, 10 rebound, 9.6 rebounds, and like 6 assists. And he had Kevin McHale break his foot. He had Robert Parrish hurt. He had Danny Ainge sitting out. He had Bill Walton. So after 86, that whole team just aged terribly and went down the shitter. I don't think
Walton was done after that year, I think, right?
Larry also lost championships twice to Kareem, Magic, James Worthy, the Showtime Lakers, which was one of the best assemblances of talent the NBA has ever seen. Like when we talk other teams, we need to talk Showtime Lakers. Kareem, Magic, James Worthy. I mean, they were stacked. It was crazy.
The
But
cheat code.
yeah,
What other teams would you put in that same category as dynasty teams? Obviously, the Showtime Lakers, the Bulls.
I mean, I think you got to start with the Showtime Lakers and '86 Celtics. No one in the '70s really compares to anything beyond that. So you start off with the Showtime Lakers, the Celtics in '86 specifically. I think that was their peak, and every Celtics player will tell you it was. They were unbelievably stacked before injuries destroyed them. Then you've got obviously the Bulls. I think the second act of the Bulls is probably better than the first act. I agree. And then we've got the Lakers, probably in 2003, their last championship team.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess you could put the Spurs in there maybe for 1 year, depending on how much you value Timmy Duncan. I guess you can't really, but they were just such a great team. They're like right on the outside looking in. I'd probably put the '08 Celtics in there. And then I'll probably put in the Heat in 2012, the year they won. And then after that, the Warriors. And then that's it.
Interesting.
Pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, that's pretty good timeline.
That's a really good timeline, actually. I'm like,
now who's the next team that's going to be dynasty?
Smart man.
Celtics.
Celtics?
I'm a homer, but
can we get a center for
yeah, I mean, I think the Brooklyn Nets actually are it pains me to say this because I hate Kyrie Irving, but if they've got DeAndre Jordan, they've got Kyrie Irving, they've got Kevin Durant, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Ferris LeVert. Come on, that's a crazy starting five.
The Brooklyn Nets are not going to go anywhere.
If they can like get hot together and play together like LeBron and like Wade could, and like just like accentuate each other's games, like
not going to happen.
But they're not.
On paper,
they're not.
Durant will always be hurt.
But on paper, everything lines up where they should absolutely win a championship.
Do you think Durant will be there for the start of the season?
Yes.
Yes, he'll be there.
Everyone does.
They're not gonna win a chip because of Kyrie.
Exactly. And Durant's always going to be hurt.
I'm sorry.
That injury, no one comes back from that.
Sorry. They're not gonna. They're gonna dominate the East, but then when it comes to playoff time, Kyrie's not gonna be the Kyrie that they need, and they're gonna fall short. I guarantee it.
He's only been the Kyrie you need one time. That finals run against
One time.
Yeah.
He hasn't played a full season
Always
like
hurt.
8 years.
Yeah.
Always hurt. Always hurt.
He's such a good defender, though.
Yeah, such an inspired defender.
Yeah, he's a great defender.
I just love the way the Celtics are built, though. They've got draft picks out the wazoo. They've got young talent for days. They've got Tatum in their centerpiece. They've got JB who can be their second player. Like I don't think he's Scottie Pippen level. I feel like he's really a third player. I feel like they got to make a move, package someone, and Jalen's probably the perfect third guy in that big three. Kemba's fading away. He's getting older. I don't think he's got much time left, but I think he can be extremely valuable in the playoffs. And if you make a big trade, you trade Romeo Langford, you package a bunch of these young assets, and you get a big that's in a situation where he needs to be moved. That's a championship team right there, man. And
just a big that plays defense.
What?
That plays defense that can pass the ball.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Like
you don't need an offensive big man. We need a guy that plays defense that can pass the ball.
How do you guys feel about Boogie? I hate him. What do you guys think?
I would still take a flyer on him. I've always wanted him.
He's a man amongst boys.
Yeah. I think at this point in his career too, he would so easily take the veteran minimum. So I think
he would be our PJ Brown. He would be our PJ Brown.
No way. He's way better. That's disrespect.
PJ Brown.
I say that jokingly.
PJ Brown hit that one elbow jumper.
And it was a big shot.
Hey, he hit two big shots for us when we needed it, and I loved it.
Yeah.
We don't know what Boogie has in the tank left, right? That's what it is. We don't know how bad the injury is, and he hasn't had any good quality court time in a minute. So we'll see. I would love to have him, though. I can't front. Get rid of some of the young bucks, and let's see if he can come in and give us some quality minutes. I mean, in an ideal world, I would love to have our boy back. He's with Philly now.
He's gone. Al Horford's gone. He's old. He's playing like shit over there. I think Brad's system was perfect for him.
If he stayed with
he's
Boston,
only $25 million a year too.
If he stayed with Boston, we would have probably been the favorite.
I agree. I agree. And then retire.
We wouldn't have got Kemba though if we signed him.
No, we could have. We actually lost Horford. Kemba was a sign and trade with Terry Rozier. So we were actually able to sign Terry, then trade him for Kemba because we agreed upon a little swap there. And Al Horford just agreed to terms with the Sixers the day before, and Danny couldn't say anything about it because he didn't want to ruin it and spook anything because he knew how much of a ripoff it was for Terry Rozier to be taking on what's he getting? $20 million a year, $15 million a year, whatever Terry Rozier is getting, exponentially more than he is worth. I would rather not have him on my roster than have him on my roster.
I'd rather get rid of Ojale. I can't stand that guy.
That guy doesn't even play that much. What do you hate about Ojale? They don't expect anything big out of him. All they expect is that he can help guard the big Greek Freak.
He looks confused every time he's on the court. Look at him. He looks confused. By now, he should be well within the offense, moving a lot more. Just it's the flow of the game. He's he thinks too much on the floor. You can see it. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
You guys know who the big man is Danny's targeting, right? What big man is Danny Ainge targeting?
Karl Anthony Towns.
Davis Bertans.
Karl Anthony Towns, Minnesota.
He's not going anywhere. They just got D'Angelo Russell,
who's also trash. Did you see how bad he was great as the focal point on the team with the Nets last year, but on the Warriors, he just looked so out of place. He was forcing shots. He looked terrible this season, honestly.
Yeah, he did.
Really, really he did. I mean, when the ball's in his hands and the team's built around him, yeah, he's a good piece, but it's not going to be a championship level team. I think Cat and him are friends, but the more they play together, the more Cat's going to resent D'Angelo Russell. And Danny's going to come in with his big bag of assets and say, look, Karl's not your guy anymore. He's hard. Let me take him off your hands. We'll give you all these young players and picks, just like the Pelicans did with AD. Look how good it worked out for them. Adam Silver split the Timberwolves, the number 1 overall pick in the draft, just like he did the Pelicans. when we're looking at a new dynasty being born, a young dynasty that can build around Minnesota, and then the Celtics.
Who do we get? Who do we
Yeah,
get?
the
Is
Lakers
there any
also
way you
gave
can
them
do that
Brandon Ingram.
trade though without including Jaylen Brown or?
Or Tatum.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if you build enough young talent around it, what was our trade with Minnesota for KG, right? If Karl Anthony Towns is leaving, if
Ryan
he's leaving
Gomes.
Minnesota, yeah.
No, they
If
got
he
Al
leaves
Jefferson.
Minnesota, they've got to take something for him, and no one's going to offer more than Boston. And if we get rid of JB, it is what it is. We have enough pieces around to build it up anyway.
I want
I
JB
hope
over
we
Karl
don't.
Anthony
though. I
Towns.
hope we keep JB.
You want JB over Karl?
Karl Anthony Towns is soft. He doesn't play any
No,
defense.
I mean,
and
I like the fit with the team with JB and Karl on the squad.
Yeah, me too.
Versus swapping out, because now we're like, okay, who? Al Horford's gonna pick up that JB minutes. Al Horford's like a smart guy. No,
I just feel like who can Karl Anthony Towns like get along with? He hasn't been able to get along with anyone. They've brought in so many superstars to try, and apparently, well, they've had like Jimmy Butler, they've had like Wiggins, they've had all these different guys, and it's like he's still not happy. So what's gonna make this guy happy? He's almost like 25 at this point.
You look at Jimmy Butler, he's a dickhead. He was in Philly on a team that could have won a championship if he stayed, and they built around him and Joel. Because I'm not a believer in Ben Simmons. I think he's a complete liability in the playoffs.
So how would they win a championship if JB stays? If you don't believe in Ben Simmons?
Well, here's the thing.
They don't.
As the third star, I think that I believe in him then, but I don't think that he can carry a team to the finals. Not when you're not shooting 3-pointers, when you're a liability and the whole defense can sag off of you. If you have Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid out there, and Jimmy Butler is probably checking Ben Simmons like, bro, like get it together, start shooting.
He's probably checking Embiid too. Embiid is
Yeah.
the reason why they won't go get a chip. Embiid's lack of mental toughness is the reason why they would not they weren't going to progress to the championship.
And they were one wide bounce away from moving on to potentially that Eastern Conference Finals where they.
Oh, I know that Kawhi bounce was so ridiculous.
Epic bounce.
Well, hey gentlemen, that was a pretty great show. We're up against it, so I'm gonna cash out. But appreciate you all for joining. That was some great discussion, and we'll hopefully we can catch you next week or something.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, fun time.
Take care.
You too.